everyone. Do we have some new employees here today, the ones who just signed up? Unfortunately, you're going to have to go through that whole process again. We want to make sure you don't forget to do that. We've had employees new employees in the past who said, I just went through all that paperwork. I don't want to do it again. So we just want to make sure that you do that. The system won't be open until November 9th. So unfortunately, there's not a lot that you can do until that point, except maybe start getting some of your documentation together. So that would be things like making sure for you and any dependents you're going to cover on the plan, making sure you have social security number, dates of birth, and then also if any you or any of your dependents have other medical or dental coverage, getting that information together so that you would have that information, because you will have to enter that into the system as well. This is probably the most important piece of this presentation, and it's on page 7 of your brochure. Did everyone get a brochure? If you did, we'll grab one on the way out. But this is the system to set up your online account through we're working with a company called Benelogic through the Butler Health Plan, and it provides you the link to their website where you log in, as well as information on what your username and password and how that setup will occur. So each of you will have your username. It's pretty easy. First initial, last name, and the last 4 digits of your social security number. And your initial password is your date of birth. Okay? When you get in there, it's going to ask you immediately to set up a new password. And it also asks you some security questions. So if you forget your password in the future, you can reply with those answers. Okay? So that's probably the most important page. If you can make sure you remember where this information is, you're going to be set to do the rest. As you go through the system, we've tested it a few times, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It just guides you right through putting in name, address, dependent information. Some of that information is going to be preloaded as well from what we already have on file. This is a picture of what the screen will look like, so you can just get some familiarity with what is included. There will be a Butler Health Plan logo up here in the corner, so that you'll see that and you'll recognize that as the screen. Okay. So again, by November 23rd, whatever information you have in this system will be what you have for your health care plan. Okay. November 23rd at midnight. But if you don't get it done, you won't have insurance effective January 1st. So it's really important that you go in, and also if you waive coverage, to make sure you go in and note that as well. Okay? Now some good news. That's really the only thing. If you like your plan now, if you don't have any changes that you want to make, that's the biggest thing you're going to have to remember today. Because there are no changes to our current health or dental plans. They're exactly the same as they were before. There's no change in your premium costs. Butler Health Plan was able to maintain the same rates in 2006 as we had in 2005. There's no change in what the district will contribute to your HSA plan if you are on the high deductible health plan. So all those things are exactly the same. So that's all good news. You're not going to have to learn anything new in terms of what the health plans are like. You just have to go in online. There is a change on dependent eligibility for dental plans, and I'll get to that in a second. Okay, so here are all the plans. This information is also in your packet. There is one new plan called the minimum value plan. I'll talk about that in a second, and why that's probably something you really don't have to pay too much attention to. I just want you to be aware. Okay. So again, the PPO, which is what most people take, hasn't changed. The high deductible health plan, which is what some people take, hasn't changed. Very few people take the EPO, it hasn't changed. The minimum value plan is a plan that Butler Health Plan added because now there's a requirement to provide coverage for more people by the Affordable Care Act. People who aren't typically our regular employees, but who may work on a long-term substitute basis, sometimes those people are eligible. There's now a plan called the minimum value plan. It's a very high deductible plan. It has no out-of-network coverage, and it's probably not a plan that will work very well at all for our employees. But it's something that's very low cost, and it meets the requirement of the law, so they're offering that. But I want to make you aware, it's probably not a plan that'll work for most of you because of the high deductible and the no out-of-network coverage. If you can't remember which plan you have, get out your Allied benefit card and it's on there. That's one of the most frequently asked questions we have. I have no idea what plan I have. I go to the doctor, I give them my card. The plan's on your card. Okay. Dental plans have not changed either. Most of our employees take the premium plan. That's the richest plan. It's still an affordable plan, so that's what most people take. A few people take standard and very few take basic. It kind of depends on what coverage you need, but for most, the premium has the best level of coverage and is still really affordable. Okay. And again, they have not changed. If you can't remember which plan you have, if you pull out your Delta dental card, there's a client number. If you have 3312, you've got the premium plan, and we'll send this information out in a frequently asked question for all of you so that you can see which plan you have. But again, the information's on your Delta dental card. Do any of you have children who are in that college level age and you can take the health plan but you can't take the dental plan, or you have to supply a lot of information so that you can maintain your dental plan for your college age student? Okay, we have changed that this year. Now if you have the dental eligibility for dependents is the same as our health plan. So any of your dependents up to age 26 can be covered by the dental plan. Okay, so I think that's good news for most people, and it helps us because it's not confusing about whether your child is covered. Since there's no full-time student requirement, you don't have to go through that entire process of getting their transcripts and submitting them to Allied and all of that. That's gone away. So good news, you can cover your children up to age 26 if you need to. I hope maybe you don't need to, but if you do, you can. And you don't have to submit all that extra paperwork. For those of you who maybe haven't been able to cover them in the past, this is the time that you need to enroll them though. You need to put them on the plan and open enrollment, and then they would have coverage effective January 1. Okay. Any questions about that? That's probably the biggest change that affects the most people.
The only difference is with the health and the dental is it has to be dependent, right? Because with the health, they can even be married.
Still, I mean, it's exactly the same. So even if they're married, even if they, you can have your child be on your plan. Yes, up to age 26. One of the things that we have found has happened a lot is when we have new employees, if they are under age 26, a lot of them stay on their parents' plan until they're 26 and take the payment in lieu of health insurance. I mean, we've had that happen. It doesn't matter. You can carry your child on your plan until they're age 26. Hopefully they're employed, hopefully they just want to be independent, but whatever. Okay, we need to finish up here. So again, November 9th through the 23rd, enroll online, even if you waive coverage, and you have to or you lose your coverage effective January 1st. Few important things: if you make any changes, if you change plans, change from family to single, you will get a new card from the Butler Health Plan. If you don't, you will not get a new one. Same thing with the Delta Dental card, only if you make changes. However, everyone is going to get a new prescription drug card from Express Scripts. Everyone will get a new prescription drug card from Express Scripts with a new ID number. So you need to be on the lookout for that. And you will get it'll have a new code on it. So the first time you get a prescription filled at the pharmacy, you will need to submit your card so that they have that new information, effective January 1st, okay? If you ever get into a pinch, typically they can look up your coverage through your social security number. We also can get temporary ID cards if you need them. But first thing you should always try is just give them your social security number. Nothing's changed with the coverage at all, so there shouldn't be any issues with it at all, but they are changing the codes that they utilize for prescription drugs. So are there any questions about that? be on the lookout for your new ID card from Express Scripts. We'll still be with them for this year. Okay. And finally, the Shard-Snyder. I don't know if any of you take the FSA through Shard-Snyder. We are going to be offering that this year. The open enrollment is at the same time. It will also be online, and we'll be sending additional information about that. There are no changes to the maximums for this year. It's the same $2,500 for the flexible spending plan for medical and $5,000 for dependent care. Okay, so we have no change on those annual maximums, and you do have to re-enroll each year. It doesn't carry forward to the next year. It's every year you have to re-enroll, and we'll get that information out to you. Any questions about that? And if you have the HSA, there are no changes to that. That isn't one that you have to re-enroll each year. We will send you some paperwork if you want to change your deduction of what you have come out of your check. And there's no changes in the annual maximum to that, but we will send that information to you. Okay. Any other quick questions? Because I see the next group is here.
If I can just jump in real quick. On the FSA 2, just so you know, there was one change with that this year. Previously, it was a use it or lose it. Whatever you put in, you had to use by the end of the calendar year. This year, there is a change that they are allowing a $500 carryover. So you have a little bit of flex there this year, which is nice. The same will apply at the end of 2016 as well. So know that you'll be able to carry over $500. But again, you won't be able to accrue that necessarily. It's only a $500 rollover per year. For those of you who don't know me, let me back up. Brian Wallace from the HR department. Jill Woolwine, my associate. We will be sending additional updates to you. Please don't ignore those emails. I know it's going to be crazy with the holidays and everything coming up. But as we send open enrollment information again from Shard-Snyder as well, make sure that you're paying attention to those things. We don't want you to miss on any of that. We will also be putting together a tutorial to walk you through kind of a step-by-step on the online enrollment piece. I will tell you, going through the test side of it, it is a very simple process. And like Beth said, if you have your paperwork with your dependent information ready to go with the social security number, if you haven't committed those, that's probably the most difficult piece. It's a very simplistic process. And we're talking minimal amounts of time, like 10, 15 minutes tops to get this process done. But again, it does not open until the 9th. So don't try to log in today and then call and say, I can't get it. It's not there yet. All right. So the bottom line, as it opens up and you have any questions, please do not hesitate to call Jill or I. We'll do our best to answer whatever you have. Okay?
One more favor you can do for us is if you look around and see a colleague who's not here today, if you could just please make them aware that this open enrollment is mandatory this year. We'll leave some extra brochures in the front office with Joni, so that if anyone needs one, please spread the word because we want to make sure everyone gets signed up. Okay? Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.